Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's Mainer Moment. Today, we're going to be talking about, are you ready to become a QuickBooks graduate? My name is Dave Henson, the Cloud Technology Advisor or Business Development Manager with Mainer Costerisan. So first of all, QuickBooks is a fantastic tool, but there's going to be a time, and you might be noticing some of those signals right now that it is time to graduate and move on to the next phase of your accounting environment. So here are some of the requirements for becoming a QuickBooks graduate. 1, you have multiple legal entities. 2, you've tried QuickBooks Online and you didn't enjoy it. 3, you are starting to see the signs of outgrowing QuickBooks. And when we talk about outgrowing QuickBooks, we mean just your QuickBooks file is too big, so the system keeps on crashing and making you restart. And 4, you're getting requirements from the leadership team or the bank or some of your CPA firm, and you're doing a lot of your reporting in Excel, and it just isn't up to snuff anymore. So let's dive in and look at these a little bit closer. So what is life like after QuickBooks graduation? Focusing on multiple legal entities. First of all, right now, I imagine this picture here on the side is still your good friend as you are maintaining your intercompany transactions manually, and you may have upgraded at least to doing that in Excel, but that still is a burdensome task. Keeping track of things manually, it may seem like, well, I don't need to upgrade from QuickBooks or graduate from QuickBooks yet because it's cheaper, right? It's already free, but there are soft costs. So everything that you do that is inefficient and takes lots of time, anything that you're doing manually, that's your employee's time or your time, which is your satisfaction and actually does cost money. And so with intercompany transactions specifically, what that does is also it adds another burdensome task to your month-end close. So if you are not closing your books within 10 days and you are still doing intercompany transactions manually, that's a main benefit right there of why you should graduate. Boom, you can just get your associate's degree, move on. You should upgrade and be able to see the benefits from there. Because with a modern accounting system that's more robust, so a fully functioning accounting system, also known as ERP, which stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. There's lots of them out there. We strongly recommend Microsoft products and Sage products. And with any of the products that we sell and implement and support, they auto balance your intercompany transactions. So that way, anytime you look at a financial report, it will be auto balanced from there, and you'll be getting an accurate picture of your company. 2 is talking about the increasing your efficiencies with an upgraded accounting system, is you can actually log in from what they call a top level, which will then give you visibility and access to any of the different legal entities. Of course, with all these systems, there is user-based control, so people will only see what you want them to see. But what the benefits of being a top level is, let's say you have to enter in an invoice and it affects multiple entries. Right now in QuickBooks, if you have separate QuickBooks files, 1, you have to log in and out of all the different entries and manually calculate on that invoice which portion goes to which entity. But with a graduated system, you can actually just enter it in at the top level and hit each of the different entities without having to log in and out. So what is life like after QuickBooks graduation? Well, it will provide you a cloud software with full functionality. So this may not be applicable to all of you listening, because some of you may still be on QuickBooks Desktop. But there's a lot of people that we talked to that had QuickBooks Desktop. They wanted to get some of the benefits of cloud accounting software, so they tried QuickBooks Online. But then when they got into QuickBooks Online, what they realized is that it doesn't have as much functionality as what QuickBooks Desktop does. So you're giving up functionality in order to gain that ease of access. Well, we represent two different softwares that both were written directly for the cloud. One is Sage Intacct, and the other one is actually Microsoft's new product, which is Microsoft Dynamics 365, also known as Business Central. Both anytime, anywhere, any device access, as long as you have access to internet and a web browser, you can log in. No more remote desktops, no more VPNs. You can access, and it's the full functionality of the system because that's all there is. There isn't a desktop and a cloud version. There is only the cloud version. We also represent and support Microsoft Dynamics GP or Great Plains. This also can have full cloud capabilities with the deep functionality, but it is a little bit different because it will need to be hosted instead of Microsoft and Sage maintaining that cloud access. We would host that environment for you, but that is definitely still an option. Life after QuickBooks Graduation, a system that can handle your data. So your company is rocking, it is growing, you're doing lots of transactions, and then boom, your QuickBooks file crashes. Well, hopefully you backed it up or you didn't get too far along because you have to restart. That is the biggest indicator, and this is really a must graduate. This is, you've been in college for 12 years, you have 300 credits, you just need to walk down the aisle and collect your diploma. That is the case here. So this is the most common one that finally, it's the straw that breaks the camel's back because people obviously need to keep a system. So that's most often what we see. But this is definitely with Microsoft and Sage, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be able to do that. Life after QuickBooks Graduation, a flexible, dynamic reporting capabilities in your accounting software. So get out of Microsoft Excel. As accountants, we have a love-hate relationship with Excel. We love the familiarity with it, but we hate when formulas break and having to manually update in order to get the reporting that we need. Here, what do we mean by multi-dimensional reporting here? For the first line item is QuickBooks right now, you have mastered the class dimension. You know that class provides the most functionality and flexibility when it comes to reporting. However, if you have a more dynamic company and you wanted to, let's do your profit and loss by customer, let's do your profit and loss by location, do your profit and loss by employee, that would be a reporting nightmare in QuickBooks, and you would be sifting through and reformatting data in Excel all the time. But with Sage and Microsoft, what we're able to do is actually have greater dimensions that provide that. It's like having unlimited class dimensions. So that way you can report and you can pivot and flip and see the information however you want to see that, or more importantly, however the leadership team needs to see that information so it can help them run their business. Not only that, you need to have drill down capabilities, so that way you can investigate from that reporting, click right down to that transaction, so that way you can see what is the driver of that information. And then 3, being a dynamic solution that allows you to attach files directly to it, so it operates as your document management system. So no need to keep a separate file cabinet, help you go paperless if you've not gone paperless before, but have those items right next to the transactions, increasing the efficiencies of your system. So upon listening to this, it reaffirmed that graduating from QuickBooks is something that your company should at least consider. Not saying that you are going to do it, but it's definitely something you consider. What are your next steps? Well, I would recommend reaching out to Maynard Costerisan, and there's multiple reasons, because there's obviously lots of different partners in the United States of America, but there are specific advantages why Maynard Costerisan will help you graduate from QuickBooks better than any other company. So one, we have a proprietary QuickBooks utility that we developed that can bring over your detailed information into QuickBooks. So most often companies, when we're doing implementations, best practice was to bring over 2 years of summary detail. And if you ever need to look into the detail, you would have to reboot up your QuickBooks instance and look into that. Well, we solved that because we don't like doing that. We like being able to drill down into reporting and see the detail, so that way we can just get rid of QuickBooks altogether. So that's what that tool does. And we also can rebuild your AP history within the new accounting system. So that way you can even see, it's like you've been in your new system for years instead of just going forward. 2, we've been there before, hundreds of successful implementations. We focus on being a service-based industry. We focus on what's called the Net Promoter Score, or the NPS survey, which is an independent survey judging your skill set and how satisfied your clients are. It ranges from a scale of -100 to 100. We're always in the 70s or 80s, and definitely something we are very proud of. And also with our implementation team, instead of having technology people that are trying to understand debits and credits, our implementation team are former everyday accountants that just happen to love technology. Most often time they got bored because they would always automate their daily tasks. Instead of being bored in their job, they said, hey, why don't I turn around and be a consultant and help other companies ask the questions that they didn't think of asking. So recapping today, we talked about some of the signs that you're ready to graduate from QuickBooks. What are the next steps, which are talk to Manager Costerisan, and why you should talk to Manager Costerisan. And final recap, I'm Dave Henson. Here's my contact information. Feel free to call, text, email, LinkedIn. I would be happy to talk to you further. So happy graduation season, everyone. Talk to you later.